Welcome back, Toddler Tribe. I am so excited to share this story today with you about a little girl who was having a very hard time making a good decision and the strategy that we used to help her make the decision that needed to be done for safety. So, today we're going to talk about behavior. And before we dive in, I want to make sure that you understand that my definition of the word behavior reflects decisions that toddlers, preschoolers, kids of any age are making. And that's it. That's it. Behavior is a word that, in parenting specifically, and for sure in school settings, has come to have a connotation that is immediately negative. If we're talking about a child's behavior, there's a reason we're talking about it, and it's not good. Yes? So take out the emotion, let's strip it out, and just look at decisions that kids are making and the outcomes of those decisions as their behavior. That's really what it is. Action. Okay. That said, so I was hanging out with an amazing mama and her kids, and they are 26 at this session. They were 26 months old. So, just more than two, barely. And we were at the bottom of the little driveway space. And this little girl really wanted to ride her balance bike. But her helmet was way back up the hill in the garage, and we needed to have a helmet in order to be safe. And this mom is amazing. She's been through my course and we continue to work together. And so she said all the right things. You're missing a helmet. We wear helmets when we ride bikes to keep us safe. Where is your helmet? How could we get it? And this little one was just digging in, still sitting on the balance bike, not moving, just sitting stationary and communicating primarily with her mom through facial expression at this point. But we clearly understood that she was not going to be hopping off that bike very quickly to make the decision, right? To choose the behavior of walking up the hill, getting the helmet, and coming back to the bike. And I listened and I watched, I chimed in with a few things. And when it was very clear that she wasn't going to, I reminded myself that when behavior gets to a place like this, that we need to ask ourselves 3 questions. Okay, I have them right here just so I wouldn't forget. The first question that you need to ask yourself when you are watching a behavior in action, or in this case, it was a behavior that was a non-action choice, right? The action would have been to go up the hill and get the helmet. But the dig in my heels, I'm staying right here, but I'm not getting off my bike. That was a non-action behavior choice. Cool, huh? When you think about it like that. So the first question you need to ask yourself is, what is the expectation? Well, we had 2 in this moment. The expectation was that in order to ride a bike, we needed to be safe. And the second one was that somebody needed to go up the hill and get the helmet to meet the expectation. Yes? Is it reasonable to expect of this child? And of the 3 questions, this is the most important one. Is it reasonable to expect a recently turned 2-year-old to use her feet, walk up this little hill, grab a helmet, and come on back? Yes. There's nothing wrong with her physical body. It's a totally reasonable expectation to have. Would she go alone? Of course not. we'd all walk up together. Reasonability. That's not a word. I'll take that again. Making sure it's a reasonable expectation is the key to scaffolding a child to be able to take the action, to choose the positive behavior instead of the negative behavior. Okay? So the first question was, what is the expectation? The second, is it a reasonable and achievable expectation for this child? And the third is, why are they struggling to achieve it? If it's reasonable and achievable, why can't they get over this hurdle that they're in right that moment? Why? There's got to be a reason. And far too often, especially when we are feeling depleted in some way, or we feel like we've tried everything and it's just not working, we immediately blame the child's will to want to do it. I'm going to say that again a different way. We own this belief system that they are refusing. Now, here's a truth, especially about small humans. They want to do good. They want to do well. They want to see you light up when they make good choices, when they have good behavior. They want to succeed. And if something is stopping them from doing that, our job is to figure out what's in the way. Okay? So here's what happened next. What happened next is I could tell that the back and forth between mom and kid, the back and forth even between me and kid, when we were trying all of these language strategies, just wasn't going to do it. Now, a couple minutes ago, the kids had pointed out that they found a tiny little caterpillar in the grass near the bikes. And one of my favorite strategies when I really want a child to hear my words and process my words and let down that guard is to talk to them, but not to them. In this case, I talked to the caterpillar. I know. I got down on the ground and I had a great old chat with that caterpillar. And I said, Caterpillar, did you know that we have to wear helmets to keep us safe when we're riding bikes? And did you know that her helmet is all the way up the hill? Would you like to see the helmet? Would you like to see it on her head? That would be so cool, huh? Her little legs got off the bike, came over next to me, looked at the caterpillar as I'm talking to it, but really talking to her. Long story short, we did make it up the hill. We did. We did get helmets. But you know what else we did find out? This kiddo was hungry. She needed a snack. And on the other side of that snack, that angstiness that she had, that dig in her heels that she had, it dissipated a bit. Her body needed refueling. She didn't have the language. She might not even have the awareness of that in that moment. All she knew was that something was standing in her way of making that decision. Maybe it just, she felt tired. The idea of going back all the way up the hill, oh my gosh, exhausting. Because she needed refueling. So on the other side of the snack, we made sure to make that clear. Sometimes When we want to do something, but our bodies don't feel like it can, it means we're hungry. And that's that. Bikes were ridden temporarily, very, very short. Quite honestly, for all the effort that we put in and looping the caterpillar into the conversation, it was the shortest tiny bike ride I'd ever seen. But it's okay because we were working on a skill. And we were tapping into why that behavior was so hard for her to follow through on, even though it was totally reasonable and even though she was completely capable. 3 questions to ask yourself before you leap into crisis management mode, before you think your child is choosing to be bad. Ask yourself the 3 questions. And then, if you need some support, learning how to use language intentionally, that is what I'm here for. My 6-module class, Transforming the Toddler Years, is packed with it. The first 3 modules, we pull apart the soul of who you are, who your kids are. And then the last 3, we just go deep into the science and the strategies, and you end up able to help your child navigate situations like this too. Take the class and join me a couple times a month for a group coaching session that I do live. Come ask your questions, get your answers. And I really hope that it's something that you are able to tap into and make time for. It's recorded. You can do it on your own time, but it's powerful work to do during the first 3 years of your child's life. Have a peek with the link in the show notes. Read about it and let me know if you registered. I'll be excited to hear. Until our next episode, stay mindful and proactive as we transform the toddler years.